This episode is brought to you by Google Gemini. With the Gemini app, you can talk live and have a real-time conversation with an AI assistant. It's great for all kinds of things, like if you want to practice for an upcoming interview, ask for advice on things to do in a new city, or brainstorm creative ideas. And by the way, this script was actually read by Gemini. Download the Gemini app for iOS and Android today. Must be 18 plus to use Gemini Live.
By the time you're finished listening to this Pepsi Zero Sugar, you'll be 15 seconds closer to kickoff. Stock up now. Bengals game day is so close, you can almost taste it. Bengals watching. Better with Pepsi.
Hey, getting ready for that big job search? I bet it's exciting.
Yeah, definitely exciting.
Yeah, it's a whole world of possibilities opening up, right?
Yeah.
But I get it. It can be a little overwhelming.
It can be a little scary.
So many questions, like where do you even begin?
Yeah.
Well, you've got this awesome guide to job search strategies.
Uh-huh.
And that's what we are diving deep into today. So we're going to help you stand out from the crowd and land that dream job
Exactly.
right from the start. The guide kind of throws down this challenge.
Okay.
Active versus passive job hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Have we all been there just endlessly scrolling through job boards?
We've all done it.
That's passive.
Right.
Active job hunting is different.
It is.
It's about knowing what you want and going after it.
Absolutely.
Strategically.
Yes.
So it's a mindset shift.
Huge mindset shift.
Instead of just reacting to whatever openings are out there,
Yeah.
you're proactively identifying organizations
Yes.
and roles that align with your skill
Yes.
and goal. It's about creating opportunities, not just waiting for them to appear.
I love that.
Think of it like planning a trip.
Okay.
Do you just book the first flight you see?
Right.
Or do you research destinations that truly excite you?
Mm-hmm.
Create an itinerary that fits your interests.
That's a much better way to do it.
That's active job hunting.
Yes.
And just like with travel planning, it all starts with some good old-fashioned
Okay, hold on.
organization.
Yeah.
The guide stresses the importance of self-assessment
Uh-huh.
before you even start browsing those job boards.
Right.
Take some time to reflect
Mm-hmm.
on your strengths, your passions, even those deal breakers.
Definitely.
You know the things you absolutely do not want in a job.
Absolutely.
I love how the guide puts it. Jobs and employers don't find us.
Right.
We have to find them.
Love it.
So once you've got a clear picture of what you're looking for,
Yes.
it's time to start targeting specific organizations.
Absolutely.
But how do you make those crucial connections?
That is the question.
That's where networking comes in.
Yes.
And the guide has some really interesting insights on this. It does. It's not just about attending industry events
Right.
and handing out business cards.
Yeah.
The guide highlights a strategy,
Yeah.
informational interviews.
Very valuable.
So this is where you reach out to people
Yes.
who are already doing what you aspire to do,
Mm-hmm.
not to ask for a job,
Right.
but for advice and insights.
Yes.
And here's where it gets really cool.
All right.
The guide calls it the interview for information technique.
I love that.
It kind of takes the pressure off both of you.
It does.
The person you were interviewing,
Yes.
they're not obligated to offer you a job.
Right.
And you're free to ask candid questions,
Mhm.
learn from their experiences.
Yeah.
What a brilliant way to build relationships.
It is.
And gain valuable knowledge.
And sometimes it can lead to unexpected opportunities down the road.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah. People remember those who show genuine interest and initiative.
So, okay, we're organized, we're
Yeah.
networking.
Yeah.
But how do we actually find those job openings?
How do we do it?
The guide recommends a multi-pronged approach.
Okay.
It's not just about relying on one source.
Right.
The guide encourages exploring industry directories, trade journals,
Yes.
online job boards,
Of course.
and of course LinkedIn.
Absolutely.
And remember, good old-fashioned written correspondence still has its place.
Yeah, no, I think so too.
The guide even breaks down the specific types of letters that you might need to craft
Oh, wow.
throughout your job search,
Okay.
from that initial contact letter
Uh-huh.
to your resume,
Yes.
an acknowledgement letter after an interview,
Right.
and even acceptance or rejection letters.
Very important.
Each communication is an opportunity
Yes.
to showcase your professionalism
Yeah.
and make a lasting impression.
Yes.
Speaking of making an impression, let's talk about your resume,
Yeah.
that all-important first impression tool.
It is.
I don't know if you saw this statistic in the guide, but I thought it was pretty sobering.
Oh, no.
Employers initially spend less than a minute reviewing a resume.
Oh, my gosh.
1 minute.
Wow.
That's why it needs to be clear, concise,
Yes.
Compelling.
Absolutely.
It's your first chance to grab their attention and make them want to learn more.
Right.
It's not just about listing your past jobs and responsibilities.
Right now.
The guide emphasizes the importance of tailoring your resume to each specific job you apply for.
Absolutely.
Highlight those skills
Yes.
and experiences
Right.
that are most relevant to the role and the
Okay.
organization.
Yes.
One thing that really stood out to me in the guide was its emphasis on giving volunteer work its rightful respect.
Oh, that's so important.
On your resume.
It is.
It's not just filler.
No.
It demonstrates initiative, passion, and valuable skills you've developed
Right.
outside of traditional work settings.
Absolutely.
That's huge.
It is.
So the guide provides this clear breakdown
Okay.
of the essential resume elements from contact information and your objective to education work experience and skills.
Yes.
It even delves into the different resume formats.
Oh, wow.
Chronological, functional, and combination.
Okay.
Helping you choose the one that best showcases your unique background.
That's great.
And the guide doesn't just stop at listing the elements.
Right.
It goes deep into how to make each section really shine.
I like it.
It emphasizes using strong action verbs, quantifying your achievements, and tailoring your language to those specific job descriptions.
Super important.
Think about it. You're telling a story with your resume.
Right.
It's a story about your professional journey, your skills, and your potential.
It is.
And like any good story, it needs to be engaging and memorable.
Absolutely.
The guide even breaks down 3 key categories of skills to highlight.
Okay, I'm listening.
Functional, those transferable skills that can be applied across different roles.
Right.
Work content, specific to the job itself. And adaptive personality traits that contribute to your success.
Okay.
And it doesn't just tell you what to include.
Right.
It gives you real examples for each category.
That's super helpful.
Now, while a traditional resume is still essential,
Yes.
we can't ignore the digital world.
No, we can't.
The guide acknowledges that the digital resume has become increasingly important. Think about it. So many job applications are now submitted online.
Yeah.
So your resume needs to be readable by both humans and computers.
Absolutely.
The guide talks about scannable resumes that can be easily read by applicant tracking systems.
Right.
Searchable resumes that pop up in online searches.
Great.
And even email-ready resumes formatted for easy readability.
That's great.
And here's a practical tip from the guide.
Okay.
For email resumes, plain text formatting is key.
Keep it simple.
No fancy fonts or graphics that might get lost in translation.
Right.
Keep it clean and simple.
Yeah.
The guide also raises an important point about online privacy.
Oh, yeah.
Be selective about where you post your resume online.
Very good point.
You don't want to be labeled a resume spammer by blasting it out to every website you find.
That's true.
And imagine if your current employer stumbled upon it.
Oh, that would be bad.
Not ideal.
Not at all.
Okay, let's say your stellar resume has landed you an interview.
Okay.
Now,
let's talk about it.
The guide really dives deep into interview preparation. I have to say, some of these tips were real eye-openers for me.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just about practicing your answers to common interview questions.
Right.
The guide stresses the importance of researching the organization, understanding their values and culture, and being prepared to articulate how your skills and experiences align with their needs.
I love it.
Here's a quote from the guide that really hit home for me.
Okay.
The first 3 to 5 minutes of an interview are the most crucial.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of pressure.
Talk about pressure.
Yeah.
But those first few moments are where you set the tone for the entire interview.
It's true.
The guide provides some excellent tips
Wow.
on projecting confidence through body language, making eye contact, and communicating clearly and concisely.
That's so important.
And what about those dreaded curveball questions
Oh, yeah.
that seem to come out of nowhere?
The ones that make you freeze.
The guide emphasizes honesty and thoughtful responses.
Right.
It's okay to take a moment to gather your thoughts before answering. It shows you're considering the question carefully, not just blurting out the first thing that comes to mind.
Right.
Remember, it's a two-way street.
Absolutely.
You're interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing you. Have some insightful questions prepared.
Yes.
That demonstrate your genuine interest in the organization and the specific role.
That was important.
But those first few minutes are crucial.
They are.
The guide stresses the importance of projecting confidence, not just in what you say, but how you carry yourself.
It's all about that first impression.
It's about nonverbal cues, making eye contact, maintaining good posture, having a firm handshake. These things can make a big difference.
They do.
In those crucial first impressions.
Absolutely.
But it's not just about appearing confident. It's about feeling confident.
Exactly.
And that comes from preparation.
Preparation is key.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The guide goes deep into preparing for different types of interview questions.
Okay.
Including those dreaded behavioral questions.
Oh, yeah. I hate those.
Tell me about a time you failed.
Oh.
Or give me an example of a time you had to deal with a difficult coworker.
Those are the worst.
These can be tricky.
They can.
But the guide gives some great strategies for tackling them.
Good.
It's all about storytelling, having compelling anecdotes ready to illustrate your skills, experiences, and problem-solving abilities.
And remember,
it's
okay to pause and gather your thoughts before answering.
Absolutely.
It shows you're thoughtful and deliberate.
The guide also emphasizes the importance of post-interview follow-up.
Oh, yeah.
Sending a thank you note isn't just polite.
Right.
It reinforces your key point and shows your continued interest.
Right. And it's a chance to reiterate what makes you a strong candidate and how your skills and experience align with their needs.
Absolutely.
It keeps you top of mind.
Right.
But it's not just about sending a generic thank you.
Oh.
The guide suggests using the thank you note to address any concerns that came up during the interview.
Oh, that's good.
Or to clarify anything you wish you had said differently.
That's smart.
Yeah.
It shows you're engaged and proactive.
Exactly.
And it's also a good idea to take some time for post-interview reflection.
Yeah.
Jot down your impressions of the organization, the role, and the people you met.
Yes.
As you go through multiple interviews.
Right.
This can help you clarify your priorities and make the best decision for your career.
Absolutely. Yeah, it really is all about refining that approach as you go.
Yeah, each interview is a learning experience.
Definitely.
You know, to kind of get better at articulating your value and connecting with potential employers.
Right.
But even with the best preparation, there might be times when an interviewer asks a question that just catches you totally off guard.
Absolutely.
Like those questions that seem to come out of left field. You know, the guide actually has this whole section on legal considerations.
Okay.
Specifically EEO guidelines, which I found super helpful.
I was going to ask about that.
EEO, equal employment opportunity.
Right.
It's all about ensuring fairness and preventing discrimination in the hiring process. The guide points out that certain questions, even if asked casually, could potentially lead to discriminatory hiring practices based on a candidate's age, religion, gender, and so on.
Makes sense.
So things like asking about someone's family plans, or their religious beliefs could be off limits, right?
Totally off limits.
The focus should always be on job-related qualifications and experiences. However, the guide does mention that there can be exceptions. Known as bona fide occupational qualifications.
BFOQ.
BFOQ. So a BFOQ is basically a legitimate reason for an employer to consider specific characteristics when making a hiring decision.
Gotcha.
The example they give in the guide is a women's shelter hiring a female counselor.
Okay.
But I'm guessing those situations are pretty rare.
Pretty rare.
BFOQs are very specific.
Right.
And must be clearly justified. The guide also mentions that employers might ask general questions about health issues that could potentially impact job performance. Like, are you able to lift heavy objects?
You might not consider yourself a tech expert, but that doesn't mean you can't protect yourself from online scammers with a little help from McAfee Total Protection. Whether it's a fake missed delivery text or an urgent bank alert, these scams can look incredibly convincing. That's where McAfee Total Protection steps in. So go ahead, manage your finances and shop online. McAfee will help keep your device's privacy and identity safer. Visit McAfee.com/online protection today to get award-winning online protection for just $39.99 your first year. That's McAfee.com/online protection. Cancel anytime. Terms apply.
Your mom, your sister, your grandma. 1 in 3 women in the U.S. will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. The American Cancer Society is dedicated to changing these odds through innovative research, advocacy, and patient support. With your help, the American Cancer Society is working to end cancer as we know it for everyone. Visit cancer.org to make a life-saving gift today.
Makes sense.
That makes sense,
Yep.
especially for physically demanding jobs.
Absolutely.
But even those questions need to be carefully phrased
Yes.
to avoid veering into discriminatory territory.
You don't want to cross that line.
So what are some examples of questions that interviewers should steer clear of?
Well, I know the guide provides a whole list.
Oh, yeah.
Things like marital status, child care arrangements,
Okay.
financial situation, even your address
Yeah.
could be considered off limits.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's good to be aware of these potential red flags
Right.
so you can handle them gracefully if they come up.
It's about protecting yourself and knowing your rights as a candidate. Speaking of being prepared, the guide has this awesome section
Okay.
with a ton of questions recruiters frequently ask college seniors.
Oh, nice.
I bet our listener is eager to hear
I bet they are.
what they might encounter in those interview hot seats.
Let's dive in.
Well, they often start with those classic open-ended questions
Okay.
about your long-term and short-term goals.
Yeah.
Why did you choose this particular career path?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Right.
These can be tough,
They can be.
but it's about demonstrating that you've given some thought
Yeah.
to your career trajectory, that you have goals and a plan to achieve them.
It shows you've put some thought into it.
It's not about having all the answers. It's about showing you're driven
Yeah,
and have a vision for your future.
exactly.
And of course, those classic questions about strengths
Oh, yeah.
and weaknesses.
Uh-huh. Right? The key here is to have specific examples ready to illustrate both.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to acknowledge areas where you're still developing,
Mm-hmm.
but always frame it in a positive light.
Yeah.
For example, you could say, I'm always looking to improve my public speaking skills.
Right.
So I've been taking a course on effective communication.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
Turning that weakness into an opportunity for growth.
exactly.
And I bet they'll ask about your college experiences too.
Oh, for sure.
What were your favorite subjects?
Mm-hmm.
What did you learn from extracurricular activities?
It's all about drawing those connections.
They're looking for those real-world applications of
Yeah.
your knowledge and skills.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then there are those behavioral questions.
Yeah.
Like, tell me about a time you faced a challenge and how you overcame it.
Oh, yeah.
Or give me an example of a time you had to work as part of a team.
Right.
Those are all about showcasing your problem-solving abilities
Mm-hmm.
and your ability to work effectively with others.
It's like telling mini stories
Right.
from your experience that highlight your skills and personality,
Yeah.
which is why the guide's list of over 50 potential interview questions is pure gold.
It is. And here's a pro tip.
Oh.
It also includes questions that students frequently ask employers during interviews.
Oh, that's so important.
It is.
It's a two-way street. Remember, you're interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing you.
Absolutely.
What are some of the things the guide suggests asking?
Well, the questions range from inquiries about the company culture and work environment
Okay.
to more specific questions about the role,
Right.
like the level of autonomy opportunities for growth, or even the team dynamics.
So it's about gathering information
Yes.
to make an informed decision.
Exactly.
Some of the questions the guide suggests are pretty bold.
Oh.
Like, what is the average age of your first-level supervisors?
Oh, wow.
Or how frequently do you relocate professional employees?
Okay.
It's good to be informed,
Yeah.
but maybe save those for later in the process when
Right.
you've built a bit more rapport.
Yeah, maybe a second interview.
Good point. It's about reading the room
Right.
and using your judgment.
Yes.
The guide emphasizes that the initial interview is usually not the time to grill the employer about salary and benefits. Focus on demonstrating your enthusiasm for the opportunity, your understanding of the organization's needs,
Right.
and your ability to contribute to their success.
It's about showing them what you bring to the table.
Let your personality shine through
Yes.
while still maintaining a professional demeanor.
Right.
It's a delicate balance.
It is. And remember, interviewing is a skill that gets better with practice.
So true.
The more you do it,
Mm-hmm.
the more comfortable and confident you'll become.
Yeah.
Each interview, even if it doesn't lead to a job offer,
Right.
is a valuable learning experience.
I love how the guide frames rejection as
Yeah.
a normal part of the process.
Mhm.
They even call it rejection shock,
Uh-huh.
which I thought was so relatable.
Yeah, we've all been there.
It's that feeling of, what's wrong with me when you get turned down for a job?
I know.
But it's important to remember that rejection doesn't mean you're not qualified or capable.
Not at all.
It's often about fit timing.
Yeah.
Or even factors outside your control.
Absolutely.
The guide encourages you to view each interview as a chance to learn and grow, to refine your approach, and get closer to that perfect opportunity.
Yes. It's about resilience.
Right.
Don't let setbacks derail your entire job search.
Yeah.
Maintain a positive attitude. Learn from each experience. And keep putting yourself out there.
It's like that saying.
What is it?
Every no gets you closer to a yes.
Oh, I like that.
And beyond all the practical tips and strategies, what really resonated with me in this guide is its focus on personal qualities. It's not just about having the right skills on paper.
Right.
It's about showcasing what makes you you.
Absolutely. Your unique self.
It's about personal branding.
Yes.
What unique blend of talents, experiences, and even personality traits do you bring to the table? How do you communicate your passion and enthusiasm for the work you want to do?
Yeah.
It's like that section in the guide about adaptive skills, being energetic, dependable, a team player.
Absolutely.
These qualities are just as important as technical skills.
I agree.
Especially in today's collaborative work environments.
Definitely.
They want to know not just what you can do, but who you are.
I like that. The guide even emphasizes the importance of aligning your personal values and aspirations with an organization that shares those same values.
Absolutely.
It's about finding a place where you can not only contribute, but also thrive and grow. Job hunting is ultimately about finding the right match.
It's like dating, right?
It is kind of like dating.
You're not just looking for any job.
Right.
You're looking for the right job.
One that complements your strengths, challenges you in a good way, and aligns with your overall career goal.
Absolutely. Exactly. And just like in dating, it's important to be genuine, to showcase your authentic self.
Right.
Don't try to be someone you're not. The right employer will appreciate you for who you are.
It's about confidence, but not arrogance. It's about knowing your worth and being able to articulate your value.
Absolutely.
And it's about being prepared to answer those tough questions in a way that reflects your personality and your passion.
Very important. The guide emphasizes the importance of storytelling in interviews.
Oh, yeah.
Having compelling anecdotes ready to illustrate your skills experiences and problem-solving abilities. It's not just about reciting facts.
Right.
It's about connecting with the interviewer on a human level.
And remember, it's a two-way street.
It is.
You're interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing you.
The guide provides some great questions to ask potential employers.
Oh, yeah.
From inquiries about company culture to more specific questions about the role and expectations.
Right. Don't be afraid to ask about things that are important to you.
Yeah.
Like work-life balance opportunities for professional development, or even the company's commitment to diversity and inclusion.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
It's your chance to gather information.
Right.
And assess whether this is truly the right fit for you.
Yes.
And if it's not, that's okay.
That's okay.
The guide reminds us that rejection is a normal part of the process.
It's going to happen. Every no gets you closer to that yes. The key is to learn from each experience, refine your approach, and keep moving forward.
So what's the big takeaway here?
The big takeaway.
What's the one thing you want our listener to remember as they embark on their job search journey?
I think the biggest takeaway is it's not just about finding a job.
Right.
It's about finding the right job for you. And that all starts with really understanding yourself.
Yeah.
Your strengths, your passions, and your goals.
It's about being proactive, not reactive.
Absolutely.
Taking control of your job search.
Right.
And making it work for you.
Yes.
This guide is packed with practical advice, but ultimately it's about empowering you to present your best self to the world.
Absolutely. It's about building a personal brand that reflects your unique value and resonates with the right employers.
It's about being prepared, being confident, and being persistent.
Absolutely.
And remember, rejection is part of the process.
It is.
Don't let it discourage you. Every interview, even if it doesn't lead to a job offer, is a learning experience.
It is.
It's a chance to refine your approach.
Yes.
And get closer to that perfect opportunity.
The right job is out there waiting for you.
I love that.
It's just a matter of time, effort, a little bit of strategic navigation.
This deep dive has given you a great roadmap.
It has.
But we've only just scratched the surface of what's in this amazing guide. I highly encourage you to dive into the original source material.
Yes.
There's so much valuable information in there.
There is.
To help you navigate your job search with confidence and success.
And remember, you have everything you need to succeed.
Yes.
Believe in yourself. Put in the effort.
Yeah.
And never give up on your dreams.
Now go out there and rock that job hunt.
You got this.
We're cheering you on every step of the way.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep